The timeline review that I was going through also when I was I'm over at no over at 917 Arch Street in like Chinatown town, Center City town, Philadelphia town, and Pennsylvania. The um the timeline, with my father, Mr. Philip John one, my mother, his wife, Mrs. Philip John one. They're like murders that my father, when I was either before, like just before I was born, or just after I was born, like 1967, 1968, January 10th, 1968. And then the theft, my inherit and birth, life allocations. And then the forced name change. My father wasn't around. My mother and I didn't, had no fucking clue who the fuck was doing this. I mean, Sydney probably got some external flack, and then said, "Well, okay, fuck, well, whatever, man, But we yourself never, my two like fathers, my mother and me never agreed to change my name from any such, from Philip John such to like Junior, like I, any such, not even a Phil, Phil. That was happening in the newspapers when I was going through high school with like sports and such. And then my mother, Sydney actually divorced my mother. When I was in Finland, I was at Saddleback playing football. We took a trip over to Finland, town of Jyväskylä town, to introduce like we the people, like B2I Finland to like NFL type football, and it was pretty awesome. It was a fun trip, and saw my mother on the phone, and she said that they sold the house in 1960 in Deerfield town in Lake County, Illinois, where I went to high school, public high school, and when I heard her say that, I was like, oh, they're probably gonna split up, and that's Sydney divorced her then, and it's kind of fucking weird because Sydney's wife. His first wife, Bonnie, a blonde. I think she's one of these multiples. Also, I'm pretty certain. I mean, Sydney's deceased now. He died like 3 years ago, in like January 2018. Yet Bonnie is most likely one of those multi-birth, whether maternal, paternal, but the one multiple person. They don't, they're not. I mean, it's just like twins or couplets, triplets, but with that one there was a lot more like multiple body. With the one woman, most likely a paternal, meaning boys and girls, meaning one woman. And it's the fucked up, really fucking weird thing is Richard, because my mother hooked up with Richard Hoffman, and his first girlfriend, wife Cheryl, she is a brunette. Bonnie's a blonde. Bonnie Marks is a blonde. Cheryl like Hoffman, they're both Ms. is a brunette. Yet I think they're both one of the same multiple birth, but multiple body, like in a different body, but like multiple octuplets, but upwards like 20, possibly 30 different bodies as one such as the one like woman. And then when my mother hooked up with Richard, which is really fucked up. I mean, first I go from my father being murdered when I'm born, then my birth allocation, life, inherit, stolen, then a forced name change, then a second forced name change, and around the second forced name change is probably when they, Sydney and Richard, Sydney split and then Richard came in. In very, very similar circumstances, only Sydney was more like a public kind of, Humpty Dumpty, kind of like almost like a pseudo Congress clergy kind of like military kind of bullshit, and Richard was more like private. Richard was more, in the jewelry store and with Harry, Harry, his dad. But then Richard was in like, he went to Evanston High School, I think, and then went to Bradley University and like studied like, was it psychology or sociology? Psychology. And then the same thing with the name change and the birth, stolen, inherit, allocation, my life, dollars, the name change. And then with my father, they started doing the same thing, but with Richard, such was like, because he was a psychology, like his friend. Now, remind myself also the reason I kind of adhered to this whole like ongoing bullshit and infringements, but like to delve into something is a discovery aspect. It's my fucking education, my birth, life is. Because then Richard had a friend, Mr. Martin Nathan, who was like a psychologist, and my mother's, I was like, well, I'm gonna fucking, I don't give a fuck what the fuck they fucking throw, this is bullshit, and my mother seemed skittish. I'm like, I'm gonna, I better stay, close to my mother. So I didn't really say no, and I wasn't really that adamant, but I mean, I just said, yeah, okay, I'll go, go talk to a psychologist. I mean, I'm studying at like a top-notch university and playing football. I'm about to probably enter the NFL draft. And they're talking, then they changed my name. Somewhere around there, the name was changed. And I think when I signed my scholarship letter at Valpo, I say Valpo because of my last Caporit, I signed such Phil Marks. Now, they keep on bitching, like every time, it's almost like, say if they kidnap someone and they're fucking hitting somebody on the fucking knee with a fucking hammer, and the person goes ow after they get hit by the hammer on their, the person that was kidnapped and like tied up or some such, and like gets hit on the knee with the hammer from the fucking the person who is as infringing upon the fucking person in the chair, in the fucking the kidnapped person that gets hit with the hammer, and the person in the chair that's tied up that gets hit with the hammer says ow. And then a person says, well, you're here, you said ow, so here's another one, and hits, the person on the other kneecap. That's exactly what the fuck they've been fucking doing my whole fucking life. And this shit with like, I delved into like when I graduated, I have a privacy practice, discovery in medicine and law, like attorney, like a certified private accountant, like with it was like a privacy Congress and clergy, but also an attorney doctor, like a medicine aspect of privacy, and my degree at university, and also my on-time high school graduation, and my birth, life, and life as Anno Domini man. With certain amount of these people, when you delve into their focus and specificity is so fucking like beady-eyed that the ones like Martin, possibly even Richard, I mean Harry was pretty cool. He seemed kind of down to earth, but he means he's deceased. He died like 21 years ago. But when it's such seems like breathing, like if somebody says like approaches someone and like even suggests something like Marty Nathan or like Monty Meldman or this such and such, I was in on this up by and for We the People as a privacy class action, the self-represented court case. And the more they came with more fucking bullshit, the more I fucking said, okay, well, this is dollars capitalism. Not any fucking aspect of Freud, Jung, Pavlov, murder, any fucking aspect. I mean, how the fuck do you have like Dr. Oz, they're all fucking impeached as part of malpractice, and then the doctors, there's a fucking like just bullshitting around. I mean, Oz had fucking like Goldie Hawn come on television, and he calls her up, and they're holding a person's like remove brain from their skull, a whole brain, in their hands, talking on like stage and on like television. And that's what the fuck, like Jeffrey Aronian says, like, if your brain is removed, it grows back. Well, what about, like, how the fuck is somebody's brain going to be removed when fucking Goldie Hawn, some fucking half-ass actress, and impeached, disbarred, malpractice Mr. Oz, what the fuck his name is holding an actual person's whole brain in their hands? I can't, I mean, that's the insistence that we've been fucking, like, dealing with. So anything to do with me, like first there was like a teaser bag, like, you know, like drugs, like a teaser bag with like Martin Nathan, and then there was Monty Melvin, and then there was more, and I'm like, fuck all you motherfuckers, because that happened. And then I was in 1992 when I got my me and Walford got the tattoos. Oh yeah, when I was in Finland, I also got my left ear over here with Howard Gasser. I got my earring. Got our ears pierced. You know, I got one and he got one. I got my left, and I think he got his left also pierced. I re-pierced mine like maybe 7 years ago. Kind of closed, you know, closed up, and I re-pierced such. And then in Finland, someone evoked there. In '92, also when I was at the I went to that. It's known as the Baha'i Church. It's a town of Wilmette Town in Cook County, Illinois. It's got all the 9. I mean, the 9th is the Constitution of America. It's kind of like almost like a big bullet. Not really, you know, not as much as maybe something like a phalanx symbol, but like a big bullet. And you know, Richard had me go to. Well, my mother also, but my mother was like, well, what the fuck is going on here? I'm like, okay, just, you know, chill out, you know, we're with each other. I used to, you know, and I told her many times, I said, I'm never going to leave you. I'm never going to, you know, I'm never going to, I went, some people say, well, again, like that insistence, but I mean, that's none of your fucking business. I said, I'm never going to leave you, but like, I had to do something with we the people. So what I did was, I mean, which I didn't know either, like after, I would have been 40 years and 10 days old, January 20th, 2008. So I would have been probably, you know, one of the youngest president ever. But they didn't even fucking like approach me, which is another fucking pissed off fucking thing. They didn't approach me about sheriffs, about clergy, about House of Representatives, about Senate, about president. They didn't fuck, and they're literally legally like bound to do such. They didn't fucking approach me with anything. And they kept on fucking saying, like the thing that happened with my father. They murdered my father. My father is recognized in passe. He's awaiting the resurrection. He's, you know, he's resting in, you know, he's in peace. He's, you know, adjusting to the resurrection. So my mother now. Yet their ongoing aspect is to adhere. It's almost like they want pity ongoing. There's no pity and there's no ongoing. You know, they want an adherence to what the fuck they fucking like did and said. I mean, even like the motion picture Conan, which is kind of rough, but like all that shit is like, well, you know, I mean, like James Earl Jones is the one that wanted pity from like the character Conan, the actor Arnold Schwarzenegger, and he got his fucking head cut off at the end, you know, and like, you know, killed. That's not. I mean, that placement is not murder. That's like the pun presentation is like the second right aspect. So this whole time I've been ongoing, but like their insistence is that if I even breathe with them, now they're gonna say, well, there's more this, more this. I know, but speech doesn't fucking do anything with the people. My father was murdered before I was born, or when I was born, like a newborn. That's when my father was actually murdered. My name, Mr. Philip John II, goes back to my father, Mr. Philip John I, whichever the fuck name he has, as fucking head. My suffix 2, my birth father, has suffix 1. My mother has suffix 1 also, because my father has suffix 1. And she, you know, she could be, you know, that's gonna be kind of like, you know, a wild goose chase, but she's like the ugly duckling, you know. The as in like, you know, the Statue of Liberty too, but like, you know, 1 to 2, and the insistence like in 92, this Miller, he's also impeached as part of malpractice over at Parktown, Lake County, Illinois Hospital. They had some kind of fucking bullshit. I was so fucking pissed off, and I didn't want to fucking be doing. And I never really, plain preternatural wholesome opium, yeah, but not like marijuana, heroin, any of that shit, cocaine, none of that shit. I was like, I'm pretty much fucking pissed off enough to just say, well, fuck all you. And I was kind of like delving into like, which is the balance aspect of like, which Bush was doing. A lot of people that like went a little bit overboard, but like needed to, like inherency, because a lot of people like delved into the second right aspect of like the BR1, which is really a religion, such as not. It's constitutional religion, a well-organized militia, men, and women. And so I was delving into, to uproot and display that all these don't have any fucking aspect of, minimally, they're F4, F5, meaning tendency not to self-incriminate and reasonable lawful search C's as infringe upon count matters. Every fucking one. I mean, the fucking aspect of there's no fucking holding aspect. The only aspect of fucking like this shit with like Freud is that Geneva 53 is to, murder and control and murder people. So none of that is applicable as in medicine, as in Hippocratic Oath, as in We the People, as in Constitution, as in Anno Domini, men, and women, as in non-men, men, and women, as in fucking any fucking person. Not 1 cent and not any fucking cents and not all the money in the fucking world. So all that shit, I got on, but like they like insisted to do that, but after like their opportunistic like view was to, well, once Richard came to with Jane, that his background in like education a little bit was like, well, we'll try to like adapt to that and be opportunistic with that, with such. But yet also this Cheryl and this Bonnie, I think are actually the same multiple body person, like multiple birth, whether it's known as triplets, twins, like tuplets, or way more. That's the same person. And like Shawnee and Bruce and Jeffrey, their mother is the same person, yet their mother couldn't have married Sid and Richard because she was already married. And once one is married, you can't get married again. Like an external one, whether a paternal, a maternal, it's same aspect as in the Ten Commandments. I know, like you can't marry a divorced person cannot remarry. My mother was a widow, so she married Sid, and then Sid divorced her. But my mother, she was pretty, astute and adept at like, knowing. I mean, she didn't like go carte blanche and infringe upon everyone, but I mean, like she had her ears pierced. She, I remember saying like she was giving up chocolate for Lent, and she told me she's Jewish. I said, well, you're the only one, and 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 she is forgiven. Like her name was like hyphenated, like Galuzzi or like Antonucci hyphen Roman numeral, the number that shall not be combined. But she was a newborn, so it's not her fucking fault. But then like her like getting remarried to Richard, that's also forgiven when she comes back. And, that, again, it's the Holy Bible, the Quran, scriptures like Isaiah 41:2. When she comes back as resurrected, she's forgiven for her whole, not that she wasn't that terrible, but like that, and like, she did a couple things, so what, But I mean, she's forgiven. So, like in 92, this Miller dude, whom like split from there too. I mean, like they did like cameos as like, they're not, I mean, if that dude even fucking graduated from high school, and he said something like, for the rest of your life, you'll be like, you'll think somebody's coming after you, and you think, like, no choice is good, and like, something around, like, and we were supposed to schedule a fucking appointment, which, again, like, this was summer 92, I had already finished, I already had the graduation ceremony, went through, like, in the summer, and 92, but then I took a couple of classes to Paul, and then I got my, my diploma and such. Well, yeah, and you get these all out, like this one, and it's that cell phone over there. That number is 215-341-5749, and this is just some tablet that I such and such. Get these out on printing and get them to Congress and clergy for the old individual person each, and the old doctor and lawyers get these all these like I did over there. I did some other video presentation. But get these printed out and then print out any pertinent aspect of my emails also. So like in '92, he said something like, "What in the fuck?" So I just walked out of his fucking office, and then they fucking like again came after me because what are you gonna say? Like when I was in there, that they knew from objectifying, looking at my university degree, diploma, Bachelor of Science in Business Administration, that I was and am and still is discovery aspect in medicine and law. Law meaning like Constitution, freedoms, and Bill of Rights, and also like attorney, lawyer, like self-represented, yet class action with we the people, self-represented. And they try to throw another one in there. It's like how fucking obvious every motherfucking time from birth my father getting murdered and then stealing my fucking birth and life allocations inherent. They tried to change my fucking name twice when I was fucking 10 years fucking old. My mother and I were just to get, I'm an Anno Domini man and she's like a non, but she's the one whom was forgiven. And they were trying to fucking like orchestrate fucking situations with dollars, which is not reasonable to do in medicine and law, in privacy, in public, in fucking every fucking thing you can think about. And every fucking one was displayed, has been displayed to them to be illegal, that they as infringed upon me and we the people. So anything to do with fucking, psychiatry is fucking it's fucking basically just trying to it's like the motion picture, How to Get Away with Murder. Now I like the fucking motion picture kind of, yet the title is maybe not. Maybe that was another one I thought of. I don't like the timeline. I don't like that motion picture. Somehow like fooling around on your girlfriend or some shit like that. But that's what I was, like now, like all this fucking straight through because I am, they did that after I got my diploma and university degree and had my high school one to know that I am actually like, again, whether they're saying my birth. Now look at how obvious this is. My birth, Anno Domini man, women. My birth as an Anno Domini man. United States of America, such 3-tier now. We're everywhere now. Which we've been July 4th, 776, minimally. That my certainty with they're saying my birth and my life is not Anno Domini. Okay, well, that's wrong. Because the self is physically and life Anno Domini. Also, they tried to do something with my high school. Okay, I got my birth, my life, my dollars, my parents. My birth, my life, my dollars, my parents. My high school, my college, such university. That's 6, minimally 6. My copyrights at 7. The sheer fucking overwhelmingness of this fucking obviousness. How the fuck I'm baffled. I'm literally fucking, not only my parents get murdered, but I'm baffled that the other fucking people, maybe this is more widespread than I fucking, like just, running around me like here or some like shit. But the reasonable aspect of me as a USA man, Anno Domini USA man is, this is fucking baffling. I'm trying to get my arms, once I get my arms and some dollars, meaning like my modern rod and staff, and my dollars, then I'll be like, okay, where to go? I'm just gonna fucking haphazardly start fucking running around, going to a fucking like a convenience store, like popping off people, possibly. But I would have done that already without them because they have attempted. So whichever this fucking bullshit has been to fucking try and like withhold from me and accuse me and fucking externally and fucking like accuse me of fucking breathing, like breathing breath, is rather fucking baffling. And the baffling thing is where the fuck every other fucking person is. Are these fucking, do they absorb the nons, like the like after death, not like non such their after death births, like they come back and forth to just that is also baffling, because most of the people, like, I see, like, during high school, those are all nons. Besides the one after death woman who was always fucking, like, running around me, but, like, all the non-men and women, meaning, like, mortals. I'm baffled that, like, from all that shit, well, maybe it did, I mean, one, it displays the certainty of my intelligence and whatever the fuck is high school graduate, on time. Yet, that still seems baffling with whomever, I don't give a fuck about any of them. Whomever fucking was, like doing that at that time seemed a little more organized than now, and how bad they did that to themselves also by doing this, and that there's nobody that even steps up and does any fucking thing. So I mean, so now, like, my parents, which is 3 people, that's 3 people. I mean, we're 4 people. Like, I'm the 4th person. My 3 parents got murdered. They're, 2 are awaiting the resurrection. 1 is, also, like, we the people. My dollars, my name's twice. High school, college, my fucking whatever fuck to accuse me of being with Freud. Weedy Self is not with Sigmund Freud. Weedy Self is not with Carl Jung. Weedy Self is not with whatever the fuck Pavlov's first fucking name is. Weedy Self is not with murder. Weedy Self is not Weedy Self is not with tendency to any self-incrimination tendency. Not 1 cent. And not murder and not fucking wounding. So, like, this goes fucking, like, the baffling shit is how fucking, like, the depth and diversity of fucking, like, which the fucking they've done. They haven't fucking understood, like, well, this evokes, like, I mean, look for my timeline of birth from, like, July 4th, 1976. My father, my mother, and Jesus God Christ, my dollars, my name, my high school, my university, my mother's second boyfriend, Richard, that's 9. My copyrights, I mean, it's fucking, so, get this out and print it and get to some of the old Congress of Clergy and remaining, everyone, and the doctors and lawyers.